Yeah, I mean, Netflix is great for the opportunity that you can browse very easily, and you can quite easily access a lot of different type of content that you wouldn't before. However, though, I go back to the idea of a tangible experience versus a digital one. And having that tangible, tactile experience where you can physically walk down the aisles, pick up the box, look at it, you have an opportunity to engage with discussion in a physical presence with another individual.
Yeah.
To me, that is a far more romantic, and it's a far more wonderful experience than it is just clicking through digital menus.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's something that can be replaced. It's something that can be sort of imitated. It
Yeah.
can be avatared,
Yeah.
but it can't be replaced.
Yeah.
And when you have the opportunity to have that tactile, physical presence of the film in hand, I think it engages. You're able to engage with that on a far deeper level than if you just click on a Friday night before you go to bed. You decide you want to watch On Air.
Yeah.
The experience is just not as significant, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think that's what it all comes down to right there.
Yeah.
The experience becomes diluted.
Yeah.
And we seem to be going forward as I hate saying as a society because it sounds so, I don't know,
Yeah.
ridiculous as a society.
Yeah. We're all very
but
smart.
We seem to be moving forward with the idea that the end result is more important than the overall experience.
Right.
And that is not what's true. That's not true.
From what I've heard,
the experience what's important.
Yeah.
And,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, to me, that is a far more. It's a far more rewarding experience.
Yeah, definitely. From just based on what other people I've interviewed have said, is that there lacks a certain sense of ownership with the content when you aren't picking it up and physically taking it out of the box or reading the back of the box. There isn't sort of that visceral experience.
Well, I mean, listen to this. I mean, people hate paying for stuff, right? People, especially now. They hate paying the $6 to rent a movie. They hate paying the $20 to buy a movie. They hate paying the $15 to buy an album, whatever it is. But you spend that $15, you spend that $6 to rent a movie, you spend that $20 to buy a movie. You spent that money. You're going to make sure that it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
So you are going to watch it, and you are either going to hate it because it was an awful movie, or you're going to love it because it was a great movie because you spent money on it.
Yeah.
All right. And when you don't have that monetary value, it gives you. How do I say this? I was on the track there.
It's okay. It happens. But I see where you're going though. Is that perhaps without having to make not only a monetary but a physical investment, it kind of.
That's the thing. You invest. Yeah. If you invest in these products financially, you're going to invest in them experientially. It's not going to be a passive experience. You're going to engage with them on a far deeper level than you would, because people value money. There's a high value on the monetary. All right. So when you're placing that investment, when you're placing that value into this artistic content, you're going to try and engage with it more than you would if it's something that can be accessed for nothing.
Yeah.
Because you don't invest in it. You're not putting that investment into it. And once again, going back to the whole rental experience, you're going down there, you're investing your time going down there, you're investing your money renting it, once again, time to actually watch it. That becomes a much greater experience total, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's a much higher level of investment, which places a higher value on the experience. And you remove the value of that experience, you remove the value of the content, and the content becomes less valuable.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it just makes the whole movie watching experience a much more fulfilling engagement.
Yeah. And I mean, there's also quite a bit of nostalgia involved with, I guess, the physical, like the movie rental experience, going in with a bunch of your friends and maybe having an argument or two about what movie's better, if Han Solo shot first, that sort of thing. And online options, it's much more instantaneous, and it almost sometimes feels more lonely because you often don't watch these things with other people. It's more of a personal, internal experience. I know, at least in my experience with Netflix, whenever I watch it, it's usually by myself. But before, when you had to rent movies, it was a social event. It was an evening. It might be your whole weekend. Could you talk to that at all, about kind of the social changes that are happening as well?
Yeah, I mean that was a big thing, going to the movie store on the weekends or on a Friday night after school with your friends and trying to find a movie you were going to watch, or a video game you were going to play all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean that was a huge part of my childhood. Some of the my biggest memories, the quotes that still are in my head,
Yeah.
are from watching movies with six of my friends that we just goofed around and would talk about and recite the quotes over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think you're 100% right in that. I think these online options are, for the most part, solitary viewing experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a product of us becoming less communal as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're as open to communication as we were even when I was growing up. And removing these public venues such as video rental stores is, it's one option less for us to be able to communicate together as people.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're losing that idea. The more we become a global village, the less the more that the idea of a local village is sort of losing its identity.
Yeah, definitely.
And once again, if you ask me, the idea of that digital global internet community versus a small tight-knit organic community, to me there's no comparison, because one is genuine and one is not.
Mm-hmm.
You are who you are when you're faced with another individual. You can be whoever you want online, but to me that's still not you. That's still not genuine. That's not a genuine experience. And even with video games, online video games it's a massive community now.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. You can play Call of Duty with a teenager from Bangkok, and you can play Call of Duty with a 42-year-old from Missouri.
Yeah.
The entire world is connected. But can you actually tell me that is a genuine social experience that you have with someone else? That you are who you are in an everyday life when you're playing Call of Duty with Timmy Bishop from Alaska.
Yeah. Personally, I prefer the days of GoldenEye with four of your buddies
exactly.
on the couch.
That's exactly what I was getting to.
Yeah.
That is an organic communal experience. It is an organic consumption of media arts. And the experiences that you have playing with three other guys while three other guys playing GoldenEye, that is a genuine social experience, because that is you with three other individuals in the presence, in the blood and flesh. And you remove that blood, you remove that flesh, you remove that organic connectivity,
Yeah.
and once again, you dilute the experience.
Yeah.
And the impact that it has on you as a person is far less significant. It becomes, I believe, much more passive. It's much easier to forget those experiences.
Yeah. Not to dwell on the video game thing, but when you're playing online just with yourself against other strangers, you're more concerned about your personal experience, about getting maybe the latest achievement and that sort of thing, rather than having a good time with your friends. So once again, it's about that internalizing the experience instead of an outward social experience. So go ahead.
I think that too, and I just think, once again, I think it's a misconception a lot of people are having now with this idea that we're creating opportunities for social engagement online through these different online forums. And don't get me wrong, sometimes, genuine social experience does come out of this, right? But I think oftentimes what it leads to is the inability to communicate in a interperson relationship. I know tons of people